Chapter 1. The solid state. 1. What is a crystal lattice? Explain its types. 2. Define unit cell and give its types. 3. Explain the Bragg's law. 4. What is the difference between amorphous and crystalline solids? 5. What is the difference between Schottky and Frenkel defects? 6. How is the packing efficiency related to the coordination number? Chapter 2. Solutions. 1. Explain the Raoult's law for non-volatile solutes. 2. What is the difference between an ideal and non-ideal solution? 3. Define osmosis and osmotic pressure. 4. What is the difference between colloids and suspensions? 5. Define Henry's law and give an example. Chapter 3. Electrochemistry. 1. Explain the Nernst equation. 2. Define redox reactions. 3. What is the difference between anode and cathode? 4. Explain the Faraday's laws of electrolysis. 5. What is the difference between an electrochemical cell and a galvanic cell? 6. How is the standard electrode potential related to the equilibrium constant? Chapter 4. Chemical kinetics. 1. Define the order of a reaction. 2. Explain the rate constant. 3. What is the difference between a first order and a second order reaction? 4. Define activation energy and explain its significance. 5. Explain the Arrhenius equation. 6. What is the difference between a homogeneous and a heterogeneous reaction? Chapter 5. Surface chemistry. 1. What is adsorption? 2. Define physical and chemical adsorption. 3. Explain the Langmuir isotherm. 4. What is the difference between a catalyst and an enzyme? 5. Explain the Freundlich adsorption isotherm. 6. What is the difference between absorption and adsorption? Chapter 6. General principles and processes of isolation of elements. 1. Define metallurgy. 2. What is the difference between pyrometallurgy and hydrometallurgy? 3. Explain the process of electrolytic refining. 4. What is the difference between roasting and calcination? 5. Explain the process of zone refining. Chapter 7. The p-block elements. 1. Define the p-block elements. 2. What is the difference between a metal and a non-metal? 3. Explain the trend in electronegativity in the periodic table. 4. What is the difference between a normal oxide and a peroxide? 5. Define allotropy and give an example. Chapter 8. The D and F block elements. 1. Define the transition elements. 2. Explain the difference between lanthanoids and actinoids. 3. What is the difference between a strong field and a weak field ligand? 4. Explain the crystal field theory. 5. What is the difference between an oxidizing agent and a reducing agent? Chapter 9. Coordination compounds. 1. Define coordination compounds. 2. What is the difference between a ligand and a complex ion? 3. Explain the difference between an anidentate and a bidentate ligand. 4. What is the difference between an inner sphere and an outer sphere complex? 5. Explain the Werner's theory of coordination compounds. Chapter 10. Haloalkanes and haloarenes. 1. Define haloalkanes and haloarenes. 2. What is the difference between a primary, secondary and tertiary haloalkane? 3. Explain the nucleophilic substitution reaction. 4. What is the difference between an SN1 and an SN2 reaction? 5. Explain the electrophilic substitution reaction. Chapter 11. Alcohols, phenols and ethers. 1. Define alcohols, phenols, and ethers. 2. What is the difference between primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols? 3. Explain the Williamson synthesis of ethers. 4. What is the difference between a Lewis acid and a Lewis base? 5. Explain the difference between acidic and basic strength in alcohols and phenols. Chapter 12. Aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids. 1. Define aldehydes, ketones, and carboxylic acids. 2. What is the difference between an aldehyde and a ketone? 3. Explain the Cannizzaro reaction. 4. What is the difference between an aromatic and an aliphatic carboxylic acid? 5. Explain the reaction of a carboxylic acid with a base. Chapter 13. Amines. 1. Define amines. 2. What is the difference between primary, secondary, and tertiary amines? 3. Explain the basicity of amines. 4. What is the difference between aniline and N-methylaniline? 5. Explain the Hofmann-Bromamide reaction. Chapter 14, Biomolecules. 1. Define biomolecules. 2. What is the difference between an amino acid and a protein? 3. Explain the structure of DNA. 4. What is the difference between a monosaccharide and a polysaccharide? 5. Explain the structure of a lipid. Chapter 15, Polymers. 1. Define polymers. 2. What is the difference between a homopolymer and a copolymer? 3. Explain the addition polymerization reaction. 4. What is the difference between a thermoplastic and a thermosetting polymer? 5. Explain the structure of a protein. Chapter 16, Chemistry in Everyday Life. 1. Define drugs and medicines. 2. What is the difference between antiseptics and disinfectants? 3. Explain the action of antacids and antihistamines. 4. What is the difference between synthetic and natural polymers? 5. Explain the role of polymers in our daily life.